So
This
today we're going to talk
conference will
about
now be recorded.
compensation overview before moving on to that. And today mostly we are going to discuss about an overview of compensation, what components we have in compensation, what is the difference between advanced and core compensation. Okay, let's start. Then no questions. Okay, first thing we'll try to understand the importance of compensation in Workday and integration of compensation with other modules. Can anyone tell me how compensation is integrated with other modules? What are other modules the compensation has been integrated? Or it's a source which is required for other modules? Any guess? This is a source which is required for other modules.
Kiran, please repeat your question.
Yes, ma'am. So we have various modules in Workday. Let me list out: benefits, payroll, talent and performance, recruitment, learning, absence management, time tracking, etc. But for few modules, compensation is also a source. Without compensation, we cannot configure at least few data. So what are all modules are payroll?
Payroll, benefits.
Without compensation, you
and
cannot go with payroll at all. Right. Payroll is one of the module. If you not configure the compensation, you cannot run the payroll. The dependency is there. If you want to implement payroll, first you should implement compensation. Why? Because the source for earnings is coming from compensation data. Okay. So you have given benefits. Any example? How benefits is integrated? Okay. Let me explain.
A kind of appraisals.
Yes, sir. So I'll take an example here. If you see in the benefit module, let's take a life insurance, or you can also call it as LTD, ESTD, short-term disability, long-term disability, or life insurance. How companies will offer here? How companies will offer? How much they will offer? Some companies, if you can see, they will say, if any employee met LTD, that employee will get the benefit of his total base pay multiplied by 10. So what does it mean? The LTD benefit equal to, let's assume a total base for the employee is 1 lakh. Just take an example, multiply by 10. This much the employee is going to get as a benefit if the employee met long-term disability. Here, if you see, in benefits, we are saying this employee will get 10 times of total base pay, 10 times, 5 times, depends on the management level. But the source is what? Total base pay. The total base pay is coming from where? It's coming from compensation. Correct? So the percentage or the amount multiplied by the base pay, total base pay, or some other components. Benefits also have dependency. Not fully, at least partly, benefits also has a dependency on the compensation. If you're not implementing total base pay concept in compensation, you cannot configure these plans in the benefits. Okay. How recruitment is integrated with the compensation? Benefits is okay. We discussed one example. How recruitment is integrated? Recruitment, any example?
You will mention about packages, right? And
Packages, yes, to bring that in the offer letter. Okay.
under compensation details, yeah.
Okay. The most important, interesting one, a referral bonus.
Oh, okay.
Correct. It's a one-time payment, right? Also joining bonus, sign-on bonus. These are also coming from compensation to recruitment. During recruiting itself, screening itself, you will negotiate with the employer. Correct. So those are also will come with the recruitment. Okay. So one of our friend also mentioned talent and performance also integrated. How? That's correct. Talent and performance also integrated with the compensation.
Yeah, skill bonus also, right?
Skill bonus, correct, based on the talent and performance. Also, performance bonus, yes, ma'am. Based on the employee rating.
PMS. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, PMS, performance management.
Salary.
Right, correct. So we have a rating scale in the organizations. Based on the rating scale, whatever the rating the employee is getting, based on that, they will get some hike. So talent and performance also integrated with the compensation. See, one module, so 4 modules are integrated with that. Partly, at least. Payroll is fully dependent. Benefits is partly dependent. Recruitment also, I can say, fully dependent. Talent and performance also partly dependent on the compensation. So compensation is one of the key module in core HCM. If you want to implement all the above 4 modules, payroll, ben and rec and talent, you must implement compensation first in place. Okay. Okay. So what are the types of compensations we have in Workday? In Workday, we have 2 types of compensations. Core compensation. Another one is advanced compensation. What is the important? What is mandatory? Core compensation is mandatory. Advanced compensation is up to the user interest. If user has or customer has such requirements, then they can implement this advanced compensation. Let's talk about first core compensation components. So what are all components we have? This is one of the important. If anyone preparing for interview question, there might be a common question. What are the compensation components we have in Workday? So we have compensation grade profile, eligibility rules, salary plan, first I will list it, then I will discuss in detail. Hourly plan, and then period salary plan, unit salary plan, allowances, amount based allowance, percentage based allowance, unit based allowance. Then one time payment, calculator plan. Okay, quickly let me review, and finally compensation package. These are the components we have in core compensation, and all are not mandatory. So what all mandatory here is minimum we have to configure: grade, eligibility rules, salary plan, compensation package. Remaining are based on the customer requirement we have to configure. Okay, let's talk in detail about first core compensation components. Compensation grade. What is meant by compensation grade? Compensation grade defines the minimum and maximum pay ranges to an employee. Minimum and maximum pay ranges to an employee. Example: I'm going to hire an employee called manager IT. Okay, called manager IT. So based on the budget, the minimum we can offer for this worker is $75,000, and the maximum we can offer is maximum 1 lakh US dollars per annum. So minimum range is 75. Maximum approved budget is $1 lakh. For each position, there will be a minimum and maximum average compensation concept. Okay, so any company, no company is going to give employee how much hour they ask, though the employee is very critical resource. They will also check company how many hours the employee is going to work, what is the profit to the company. They will do certain calculations and they will give some budget, right? So the minimum and maximum we will define on the compensation grade. Okay, we have pay range segments as well. We'll talk while we're configuring in detail. For now, remember compensation grade is for to define the minimum and maximum pay ranges. For hiring any employee based on negotiations, you can propose the total compensation between $75,000 to $1 lakh US dollars for the worker. Okay.
Kiran, like for a
Yes,
manager position, you will define the minimum and max salary. Like the position changes, again that will change, right?
Absolutely, sir. If I'm promoting this employee manager ID to senior manager, the senior manager budget may be like this, like $22,000 to 2 lakh. So whenever I'm promoting this guy to senior manager position, he may fall here in this bucket. Now his compensation is going to be, a pay ranges will be changed, correct? So it will be deferred based on the management levels. Yeah. Okay. Then grade profile is optional in Workday. When do we need this grade profile? To define localization. To define localization. What does that mean by to define localization? For example, I have a manager IT position in India, manager IT position in US, manager IT position in Australia. What is the common difference between these three countries? The role name is same, manager IT, but this role is required in three countries. What are the differences in these three countries? In particular, talking about the compensation.
Dollar, yeah, currency.
Currency. Eligibility rules also will be different. For each country, we have to create for each employee. Also, the amount numbers also different for each employee, correct? Here, whenever you are creating a compensation grade profile, which means you're defining localization, you are creating more than one country, then only the grade profile is required. Example, I'm implementing only for USA, one currency. So I can go with grade. I'm implementing for global, which means 3 countries and more, or 2 countries and more. So I'm going to take the help of compensation grade profiles. So how it is? While creating compensation grade, I'll create the eligibility rule, something like this. Manager IT India, minimum eligible 10 lakhs to 25 lakhs. Similarly, manager IT USA, minimum eligible $75,000, maximum 1 lakh US dollars. Okay, here is currency is INR, here is currency is the USD. And similarly, manager IT Australia, and let's say 1 lakh, max or 2 lakhs. Currencies are used. If I have this requirement, if I go with grade, what happens? I require to create 3 compensation grades for each country. If I go with grade profiles, in one grade profile, under one compensation grade, I can create multiple grade profiles for each requirement. In simple, if you're defining localization, implementing for more than one country, please include grade profile in our requirement. Okay, during configuration, we'll discuss in detail. Right. Then eligibility rules. Eligibility rules. Identifying a right employee for right compensation. Example, a car allowance. Example, let's say you have executive people, management people, non-management people. So you have a requirement, something like car allowance, only eligible by executive members. Which means when you're hiring an executive member, you must assign this car allowance. Okay. When you're hiring a management, non-management member, the car allowance should not be available to assign under eligibility impacted. Identifying right employee for right compensation. We can achieve through these eligibility rules. And one more thing, if you know how to build compensation eligibility rules, you can build eligibility rules for absence management, benefits, and talent management also, talent and performance also. The same pattern. Okay. And then, okay, any questions so far on grade profile eligibility rules on these three components?
And Kiran, like for the eligibility rules, right? Like since we can have more than one, like can we have like if one is, suppose they don't want to give more than one eligibility. If you fall under one, they don't want to make eligible for the second one. So can we have that kind of operations also?
Sorry, sir, not clear. Can you please repeat again the question?
Let's say like I'm not sure if it is real possible scenario or not. Let's say like if anybody taken a car allowance, I'm not entertaining them for the another loan, second car loan or something. So like can we have like those kind of rules also in the eligibility criteria?
Which means employee car allowance is not eligible if employee has taken the car lease, something like that, right, sir?
Something like that. Yeah. Something. You can have anything. Yeah. Basically, like, can we restrict also? If somebody taken the some kind of benefit, can we restrict them to take the similar kind of benefit? May not be the same, but yeah, kind of like that.
Right, sir. You can do that, but not on the eligibility rule. You require to get a validation on the business process. We can do that.
Kiran, here
Yes,
we are
sir.
applying the eligibility rules. Okay, that what Pani is asking, right? That will come under rules and regulation, right?
Yeah. So like some companies has policies as mentioned. So let's assume when they're giving the car allowance, if the employee has taken the car lease, then the employee is not eligible for car allowance since he has company provided a car lease concept. So some companies may have this kind of requirements. It's possible, sir, but not on the eligibility rules. You require to create a validation for that on the business compensation business process. So what happened? Assume an employee has taken the loan amount. Employee has taken the car lease, and for the same employee, I'm trying to assign the car allowance. If the employee has taken the car allowance, then if the employee has taken the car lease, car allowance should not be assigned. Validation you can configure, sir. Not in eligibility rules we can't do. But you can, since the same requirement, you're stopping. You're not assigning the car allowance. The validation will stop you with a clear message. This employee not eligible for this car allowance. In this employee already taken car lease scheme. Okay. So we'll business process. The next chapter we'll talk validation. We can achieve.
Sure. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, moving on. Salary plan. Salary plan is quite common. Regular, we can also call basic pay, regular wage, right? Those are part of salary plan. But remember one point when salary plan we are discussing. In Workday, we are not giving amount, currency, frequency on the plan level. In Workday, when you're creating a salary plan, we are not proposing amount, currency, frequency. These details directly you have to get. Okay, so currency frequency will be defaulted from the compensation grade or grade profile based on how you configure, but amount you have to enter manually, how much the employee salary. During testing we'll talk about this. But remember, if someone asks you, can we define currency frequency and amount on the plan, salary plan in Workday? Answer is no, you can't. Then from where these values are coming in? Currency frequency is coming from grade or grade profile based on how you configure. Amount you have to enter manually for worker. Okay.
Can you make the statement again, please? I think you said something
Sure,
is
sir.
wrong.
No problem. No problem. When you're getting a salary plan, amount currency frequency we are not defining on the salary plan. Okay. You have to define amount currency frequency. Sorry, you're not defining a salary plan. Currency frequency should be defaulted for the worker from the grade or grade profile. From here it will be defaulted. Okay. Coming to the amount, how much the employee will get the base pay, that must be assigned manually to the worker. Okay.
It's, if you hire an employee in India, in the salary plan, the currency is INR. And
INR.
frequency is 10 lakhs to 25 lakhs. Correct?
Yes.
INR.
No, sir. Frequency in the sense annual or monthly. Frequency.
Oh, annual.
Okay.
And an amount should be added in between the range from 10 lakhs
Right.
to 25 lakhs.
Correct. Correct.
Oh.
Sir. We'll do in the direct. Just a heads up we're talking. Correct. Similarly, hourly plan. Hourly plan. So some countries they have hourly wage employees. Per hour they will pay some amount. Correct, per hour. So based on number of hours they will pay the amount. You can also call it as rate. Per hour $50, per hour $100, something like that. If you have such requirements, then you require to create hourly plan. If you don't have hourly plan concept, then you can ignore. Okay. Then period salary plan. Have you heard about 13th month salary, 14th month salary?
But
No.
that is like a weeks wise, right? 13th month in the sense like when they pay weekly, they will call 53rd week, 54th week, right? Not monthly now.
No, sir. Monthly also we have, especially in our. I will give an example. Just I want to check with you. It's slightly interesting. So, yeah, some countries like Singapore, Japan, Germany, Denmark, in South America, Ecuador, Argentina, also in Eurasia, Philippines. What else? All these countries have this concept called 13th and 14th month salaries, which doesn't mean they're giving there is 13th month we have in the calendar. 1 month of salary they will pay as a bonus. As per the legal rules and labor acts in these countries, an employee completed 1 year of service, and the employee must get 1 month of salary as a bonus. That is nothing but 13th month. The employee has to get 2 months of salary as a bonus. That is nothing but 14th month. Okay. So if you have such a requirement, then the period salary plan is in scope. In simple, if you are implementing either of the countries which are listed, then you must include period salary plan. It's mandatory for those 4 countries. Sorry, for those countries. Okay. And then we have unit salary plan.
Can you take it 1 second back?
Sorry, sir.
Can I take 1 second? Kiran, like in the earlier you said hourly plan. We thought about, let's say, like if I chose hourly plan as $50 something, that time that in the salary plan, do we need to change the frequency to hourly that time? Like are they both?
Hourly plan is separate plan, sir. If the employee pay rate type is hourly, we will give hourly plan. If the employee pay rate type is salaried, then we'll give the salary plan. In simple, regular contractual. Okay. The unit salary plan, honestly, I have not come with any customer because they don't have such requirement. But let me give some examples. Since Workday should match with all the customer requirements, should meet call. Let's assume we are implementing for one of the e-commerce industry. Okay, Amazon, Oculus, Flipkart, etc., etc. They want to pay salary based on the number of deliveries they did. They want to pay salary based on number of deliveries they did. There is no flat amount, fixed amount like a salary plan. If you deliver 100 boxes, you will get $100. If you deliver 1,000 boxes, you will get $1,000. If you have such a requirement, or if we could take Zomato and Swiggy, the food delivery business, the number of deliveries the executives deliver, based on that, the company wants to pay salary. Then in that case, the unit salary plan will be in scope. Remember, this is not a flat amount. This is not a flat amount. This is just, it will show the numbers, these many you have to deliver, and this is the amount you are going to get for each delivery. And one more thing, customers will ask a question here, especially unit salary, unit allowance. Can we track how many boxes the employee has delivered? No. In Workday, you cannot track. Tracking is not possible. For that, we need a Salesforce or some other applications, sales and development or SD. That application will track the number of boxes the employee has delivered per day. Workday cannot be tracked. Here we are just saying this is the amount you will get, and this is the number of minimum you have to deliver. That's it. Okay. Allowance plans, we have 3 types of allowance. Again, it's going to be an interview question. How many allowance plans we have in Workday? We have 3 types of allowances. What are all those? Amount based, a fixed amount. Example, management employee eligible for 1,000 rupees of mobile allowance per month. 1,000 rupees is a standard fixed amount. It's not a floating or something. It's just a standard fixed amount. Correct? So for that requirement, we can go with amount based plan. And a percentage based plan means housing allowance. If you take in India, 40% for non-metro, 50% for metro, based on the employee base pay. Okay, in that case, percentage based plan allowance is helpful. Again, unit based plan is similar to again unit salary. You want to pay allowance based on the number of boxes the employee has delivered. You can include unit based plan. Let me hold here. Any questions on the 3 types of allowances?
And you mean like we can have in some kind of scenarios we can have these 3, right? It's not like one only at the same time.
No. 3 will be sometimes, yes, 3 will be. Example, let's take this one. I want to give a commuting allowance. The employees who are coming from office, to the employees coming from more than 10 kilometers from office, I want to pay 1 rupee per kilometer. For an employee coming from 30 kilometers, I want to pay 1 rupee for 30 kilometers. I mean 30 rupees for 30 kilometers. For commuting allowance also you can configure. Or another example, we may have field executives. Companies also have field executives, pharmaceutical, the marketing people, etc. They wish to roam from one place to another place. I want to offer gasoline allowance, or you can call it as petrol allowance. If an employee traveled 20 kilometers, then I want to give 1 liter of gas, 1 liter of petrol. Okay, but that also I can use unit based allowance. Okay. Any questions on amount, percentage, unit? Anyone? Okay, so let's move on then. Let's talk about one-time payment plan. Okay, so we have some certain one-time payment plans like joining bonus. Once a while we will pay to the employee, or referral bonus, or any example from your
Relocation
side?
allowances. Relocation
Sorry, sir?
allowances.
Relocation allowances, good one. Right. Relocation allowances.
And when you relocate, right, it's provide the accommodation as well.
Right. So retention bonuses. These are all once a while we'll pay to employees, not every day. Correct?
Lease
So,
break kind of thing.
yeah, correct. So for these all, if you have such requirements, you require to get one-time payment plan. Okay. Then after calculated plan, this is recently Workday has given. So sometimes we may have requirements something like seniority allowance. Okay, seniority allowance. Seniority allowance in the sense, let's take this example. Please excuse for any background noise. So something like the seniority allowance. If employee complete 3 years of service, company wants to pay $1,000. If employee complete 5 years, they want to pay $3,000. If employee complete 7 years, they want to pay $5,000, so on, so on, so on. You have such requirements based on the years of service you want to pay, based on the grade you want to pay. Then you can configure seniority allowance. Okay. So very limited customers I have seen, very limited. Okay. Then compensation package, important topic. Whatever we have configured all the details, right? Grades, grade profiles, salary plans, all these plans, you must group under compensation package. Compensation package is kind of an umbrella structure where we will group all our compensation components under compensation package to default the compensation. Okay, this is about the core compensation. Any questions, anyone? Of course, I am coming with the requirement. We have to configure in our tenant. That activity will start from tomorrow. So just a overview and heads up how compensation is integrated with other modules, what are components we have, etc. Okay. The next one is advanced compensation, and we are not going to discuss advanced compensation because this is a separate module in Workday. Okay, and optional in Workday. So what exactly advanced compensation? How is it different from core compensation? If you have merit plan in scope, if you have stock plan in scope, if you have stock plan in scope, if you have bonus plans in scope, then you must need advanced compensation. You must need advanced compensation. Okay, if you have merit plans, stock plans, bonus plans, then you need advanced compensation. So what I'm going to do, advanced compensation we're not going to discuss. This is a separate chapter, but however, I will give you 5 hours of recordings on this area. But my humble request, go through core compensation first, then only move on to the advanced compensation. But remaining core compensation, we're going to discuss in detail in our tenant. Any questions are here? Core compensation. Yeah.
Because of connectivity problem, I'm out from the session.
No problem, ma'am. Anyhow, we have a recording. Please, I request go to that. Still, if you have any questions, we can discuss tomorrow. I will take additional time for you. Yeah. No worries. Okay. And let me take some questions if you guys have any. Not only limited to compensation. So far, what are the topics we discussed? From tomorrow, I will come up with a requirement document. I will also come up with compensation data. So based on that, we'll discuss. Apart from this, let me talk about the business processes associated with the compensation. We will be good here also if we discuss. So there are certain business process.
Then don't we try this in the tenant?
Sorry, sir.
Don't we try this one in the tenant?
Of course, we have to, sir. We have to. We are doing from tomorrow, sir. I will create a requirement, and then we'll start freshly from tomorrow. We are gonna do in the tenant. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
No problem, sir. And there are certain business processes which are specific to compensation. Compensation business processes. So what are all comp specific BPs we have? The last one is so these are all the commonly used business processes we have in Workday. So you will get some questions here also. So proposed compensation for hire. If I want to assign a compensation to a newly hired employee, okay, if I want to assign the compensation to a newly hired employee, this business process is going to be triggered. With the help of this business process, you must assign the compensation to an employee. Okay, proposed compensation change means, let me put a short notes here. It's for new hires. And proposed compensation change means whenever you are promoting an employee, like promotions, demotion, and also relocation, transfer, is going to affect the employee's compensation. Correct? Promotion, we may give hike to an employee. Demotion, we may reduce the salary to an employee, punishment reasons. Relocation, we may give relocation allowance or bonus. Transfer, we may give state or location specific allowances. It's going to impact the compensation also. Correct? So proposed compensation for hire is new hires. If you're hiring a new employee, this BP must be triggered. If you're doing a promotion, transfer, relocation, this business process is going to be triggered. Request compensation change means ad hoc compensation changes. Ad hoc compensation changes, something like remove the compensation plan, assign the new compensation plan, or override the amount of current existing amount. Example, $1,000 you want to give to $1,200. Any change, if you're doing an ad hoc basis, you can use the request compensation change BP must be triggered. Similarly, request compensation change default to position. Or if you would like to assign compensation to a open position, assign compensation to a open position, not to the worker. Remember, so far what we discussed is all related to worker, and this is only for open position. Okay, if you want to assign a compensation first to position, then you want to hire an employee into the position. Okay, later employee is terminated, the compensation is still associated with the position. If you have such concepts, then you can include this business process also. Request one-time payment means whenever you want to give joining bonus, sign-on bonus, one-time payment, you can initiate with the help of request one-time payment. So the business process also very important.
I have one question, Kiran here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So in a proposed compensation for hire, right, it will be applied for new hires. What if we propose some, if we finalize some compensation sheet and then we release along with the offer letter to employee. After that, he bargain and then we have some discussion.
Negotiated.
Then we need to change that, update the compensation plan, right? So that cases
not required. Not required, sir. Not required. You can just override the amount while you're assigning to the worker. Okay. As I mentioned, salary amount you have to enter manually. After negotiating, when you're hiring an employee, you will enter that amount. So based on negotiations only, you will enter. If it is an allowance plan, you can override the amount.
That won't fall under this business process, right?
No.
So Kiran, that like he asked, the proposed compensation for hire is like a before recruitment, right? Like a before we hire, or you say like a
no, sir. After hire step is triggered. After hire step is triggered, Then the next step is propose compensation. So hire has been complete. The next step, you are assigning compensation based on employee negotiations.
But hiring won't be done, right, until he accepted the offer letter or something.
Exactly. Whatever the recruitment team has been discussed with the worker. Okay. So there is a compensation BP, but that is specific to recruitment, sir. They will deal with that. Like propose offer letter.
Oh, okay.
Propose offer letter is amount and everything. They will discuss that. Once the employees agreed, you will receive a copy. Based on that, you will assign that amount here while you're hiring an employee.
Okay, if there any changes on top of that from offer letter, we can use this BP.
Correct.
Okay. And another question, Kiran, like right now, I know like we are explaining about these 5 BPs. Like, is there any documentation will be there in the Workday? Like, does Workday has documentation? Like, what are the possible BPs that are available for each, compensation or anything? Like, I don't think is limited only to the 5, right? It can be more than that also, right? These BPs.
We have some grade change also. We have a BP, but no one will include in the scope. I completely agree with you. Grade, if you are changing the grade also, the BP you can trigger, but reimbursable activity. So we have BPs, but we have never used. But however, if you want to explore those, I will help you. I will show one shortcut tomorrow.
Okay, Kiran, thank you.
No problem, sir. So I can start today, but the reason is we are using shared tenants, sir. If I configure today, tomorrow the data is not available. So I'm waiting and checking with the organizer to get the new tenant. That's the only reason I'm holding the configuration now.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So any questions, sir, apart from this? Not only this, any chapter. So still we have some time. So just I want to give an overview of core comp and advanced comp and BPs, how compensation integrate with various modules.
Kiran,
Yes, sir.
eligibility rules we applied based on the grade, right?
Eligibility rules, yes, sir. Eligibility rules we have to get based on the pay ranges, management levels, etc. So tomorrow, first topic is eligibility rules only. We have to understand how to get eligibility rules, what all fields we have, how to get combination rules, how to assign the eligibility rule to a plans. We are going to talk not tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Any other questions I can help? Hartham, do you have any questions?
No, Kiran, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, let's do one thing. Go to this recording, please, and tomorrow we'll start configuring our tenant. So before 10 minutes, I'm trying to wind up. But however, if you have any questions, we can still discuss. Okay, so is it okay if we can hold for the day then? And tomorrow we'll start configuration. As I mentioned, 2 documents I have to create. One is requirement, another one is what in detail about all these components. Okay, then shall we hold for the day?
Sure. Thank you, Kiran. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Please take care and stay safe, sir. See you tomorrow. Bye.